Hello and welcome to the next video of my LEC 2024 preview series. We're going to cover Karmine Corp, otherwise known as KC, a big LFL organization that has taken over the slot of Astralis in Europe. When doing this, I had to utilize some verbal agreements to fill out the roster to do this preview. So, with that in mind, the LFL roster is not on here because nobody is actually signed. And I don't watch Academy anyway, so what's really important is previewing what the projected roster is going to be in 2024 as far as Europe is concerned. Last 3 years, there's nothing to go off of. This team hasn't been in the LEC, and there are no moves because this team hasn't been in the LEC. We must keep in mind the average age of this roster going into the year is 23.8 years old. It is an older squad. And with that in mind, the translation from the LFL to the LEC, I think a lot of people are going to think, oh, this team's going to be great. It's going to go to Worlds and this or that. And teach their own. But at the same time, I think that we have to temper our expectations. In top lane, you have Cabochard, 26 years old. One of the older top laners in all four major regions going into the year. And when he played last year in the LFL, he brings with him LEC experience. He's played against better players before, right? So, in 63 games, he had a 3.2 KDA, 7.7 CS per minute, 51.7 KP. 20.4 gold share, 452 damage per minute, which is 18.6% of damage. He was a weak side top laner, tank player, on an island, not really affecting the team all that much, and in the late game would fight, but be more of a facilitator and a tank. That can be valid for an older player. I just did Giant X's video, and Odo Omne is in a similar boat. At 15 minutes, was ahead of his opponents. 235 gold, 5 CS, 75 XP, had 12 solo kills. 13 champions played. Now his three most played, Renekton, K'Sante, and Sion account for 57% of the games. So, gets ahead of LFL tops, and then goes and plays more of a facilitator tank role. Makes sense. In the jungle, we have Bo. Bo played for Vitality last year, 21 years old, was one of the bigger disappointments as far as rookies are concerned. He was what Yike is, he was supposed to be what Yike is being considered. One of the best junglers in the Western regions. Very carry-oriented player. A lot of people giving insight into the belief that, well, he didn't play carries and he doesn't like playing non-carries, so the coaches were out to get him, the team's out to get him, he wasn't set up for success, and this or that. In a meta that was not carry-oriented in the jungle, let's be real, it just wasn't. So we're going to try and force a square peg into a circle hole here by trying to put Bo on carries. And I understand you have to put your players in positions to succeed. And some argue, well, Bo could have 1v9'd on that team. And I don't think that was the thing. That team was good on paper, and it entered its face-off Vitality. Photon was super talented in top, and I thought he did his job throughout the year as a rookie. He was the one at the table in the meme as the room is burning around him, not Bo. So, in 42 games, Bo had a 2.3 KDA, 5.6 CS per minute, 68 KP. Very average. Average at best. The KDA is awful. He had some games where he died like 9 times or whatever, just going in and just running it down. 18.9 gold share, 387 damage per minute, 17 damage share. On average, ahead of his opponents, 170 gold, 4 CS, 160 XP, 9 solo kills, 13 champions played. Sejuani, Maokai, and Vi. Yeah. Sejuani, Vi, Maokai is 3 most played. They account for half of his games. And that's where people cite, oh, well, Bo wasn't set up for success. You can't just say, this player needs to play Graves, Talia, carries, and this or that. I understand. Rookies, younger players, I've said this before, they can be very meta dependent. It's unlikely they got to where they are playing everything well. They have to round out their game at the top level. So, it comes down to a situation where Vitality are trying to just play the meta And everyone's like, well, Bo can't play the meta. It's like, well, then he shouldn't be playing if he can't play the meta. Like that's if that's not an option, then we have an issue. So we'll see how he does with KC. In mid lane, we have Seiken. Seiken's 25 years old. 63 games played, 4.6 KDA, 8.8 CS per minute, 62 KP. I expect him to be better than your average LFL mid at his age. There's no excuse for it. So these numbers, good. You did well at the LFL level, but you should do that well. 22.4 gold share, 681 damage per minute, 27.7 damage share. Very dominant in the carry department when it comes to damage. He got a lot of gold. He dealt damage with it. That's a good sign. Up 145 gold, 3 CS, 50 XP, 13 solo kills, 15 champions played. Azir, Jace, and Victor account for just under half of his games. So we'll see how Bo and Seiken get it going this year, because I believe Syncroft was KC's jungler last year, and if I recall, Syncroft, when he played with BDS in 2022, he was better as a facilitator and creating, and I thought he was a very good player on that team, despite him thinking that he wasn't. I thought better of him than I guess he did of himself. I don't know. So Bo is not Syncroft at all. Bo is probably better than Syncroft, but at the same time, they're not the same player. Like Syncroft facilitator, Bo carry. So when we think of how well KC did in the LFL, you're not getting the same type of jungler, like, at all. So this team is going to have a different vibe to it if Bo does not, adapt to whatever the meta may be. Now, it might be carries, and in the end, that's good for Bo. But if it isn't, we'll see what happens. Upset, 24 years old, played with Vitality last year alongside Bo. 29 games, 7.1 KDA, 9.8 CS per minute, 66.2 KP. He's one of the best, if not the best, ADCs in Europe. Very good KDA player. And in the end, that is what he is, a KDA player. When push comes to shove, does he have that extra oomph of aggression, or is he going to not die? That's what you kind of got to wonder when you're playing with Upset. 24.4 gold share, 573 damage per minute, 26.3 damage share. And that's shown in the damage per minute, right? One of the lower end DPM for a player that you would consider to be very, very high tier. At 15 minutes, up 240 gold, down 1 CS, 45 XP down. 8 champions played. Zeri, Zaya, Aphelios accounting for 72% of his games. And then we have Kalist after him. Kalist I consider to be one of the best prospects right now in LOL Esports. Definitely one of the best AD carry prospects, and probably in the conversation for best Western prospect outright. Apparently he's not allowed to play because the LEC is going to go 18 or over. Maybe that means the LEC is going to have a sponsor that is, minors cannot partake, whether that's alcohol or whether that's betting, who knows. But this kid is cracked. I talked about in my bot lane prospect video. Upset's just keeping the seat warm. In 67 games, 4.5 KDA, 9.7 CS per minute, 72 KP, 25.9% of the team's gold. At a young age, give him all the gold, let him carry. 789 damage per minute, 31.8 damage share. At a lower level of play, 6.5 years younger than Upset, keep in mind. That's what I'm talking about. Aggression. Like 216 DPM more, that's serious aggression. More gold, gonna go get the farm, gonna go get some damage. 32% of damage, 640 gold, 8 CS, 520 XP ahead at 15 minutes. 25 solo kills, a very good indicator of a guy that's aggressive. You don't see 80 carries with that many solo kills. 16 champions played. Now at support we have Targamas. Targamas played with Excel and then in the LFL in summer. I am citing his Excel stats because they are at the level of play where Karmine Corp is going to be playing. Targamas, I believe, is better than what he showed with Excel. in these 9 games with the 2.6 KDA, 73.3 KP, 252 damage per minute. Keep in mind that was spring, 80 carry meta. 3 vision score per minute, 7 wards every 5 minutes, 1 control ward every 4 minutes, yet cleared almost a ward every other minute, which is huge. 8 champions played in those 9 games. Only Nami did he play more than once. Now, at 23 years old, I think Targamas is fine. A lot of people criticizing. I think he's pretty good. I thought with G2 and Flackhead, he kept Flackhead alive as Flackhead went through his rookie season. And they went to MSI. They went to Worlds. And then they give him the boot for Mickey. And obviously Mickey is better than Targamas. That is no question. But Targamas is an LEC level support. And for him to return is a good sign because he should be up there. I think alongside Upset, that bot lane will be just fine and be probably one of the better ones in the LEC this year. It's going to come down to these solo lanes and whether Bo wants to play League the way that League is being played at that time, or if he wants to do his own thing and go on a mission to break the meta. Yamato Cannon is projected to be the coach. In best of in the regular season, he's 128, 129, and 3. In individual games in the playoffs, regional finals, things like that, 58 and 60. International events, 11 and 18. I've always followed Yamato's streams. I think he's very insightful. He's one of the more interesting coaches in the scene. Very open. And a player that a coach that I really, like I said, like to listen to because he gives his insight. And then you can understand where they're coming from, why they're making the decisions they are, and giving you a sneak peek at things that from the outside you are just inferring about, that you don't actually know. Now you hear what, Yamato might say, or even like an LS or whomever that have been behind the scenes, and you say to yourself, okay, now I, have a grasp of it instead of listening to what sources say. So, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.